Elizabeth and Darren's love is in high gear.
He made her feel good, and when she felt good, then she just went with it.
And there's no stopping them.
She was head over heels pretty quickly. Elizabeth was impulsive. When she got an idea in her head, what she wanted, it has to be right now.
Hang up!
But when it comes to the future, no one has a crystal ball.
I was surprised that somebody was controlling her.
He had been shot.
The bullet should have been coming straight. It was not.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. Birch River, West Virginia, a very small town that doesn't stop Elizabeth Smith from dreaming big.
She was sassy. She wasn't afraid to get in trouble and break the rules.
Maybe it's because she's just out of a 7-year relationship.
She and David had a very long engagement. She was ready to set a date, and he wouldn't commit to a date. One day when he was at work, she packed everything and just left. And she went home to Dad's house. Elizabeth was impulsive. When she got an idea in her head, what she wanted, it has to be right now. You couldn't talk her out of it. Elizabeth liked to help people. She was a giver.
Say hello to the fam.
Elizabeth's job is the first of a couple of new things in her life, including Darren Spinks.
She was a cashier, and he came over there quite frequently. Elizabeth would see some muscle car, and her heart would skip a beat.
That's one fine-looking beast you got there.
As does Darren's when he sees Elizabeth.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
That was for your car, you know.
Well, she is, isn't she?
Oh, it's a she, is it? I'd have thought a muscle car would be male.
But only a female could be this beautiful, right? Nah.
After they meet, Darren finds reasons to come by Elizabeth's work all the time.
Big D, we gonna have a good time tonight?
We might do.
See you later, man.
Big night for you and your boys?
That was a plan, but it doesn't have to be. What are you doing later? You wanna go for a ride? I mean, I can't think of a better night than a ride in the hills. Pretty girl by my side.
Oh, you're good. And by that, I mean really bad. Sure, why not?
Okay. I'll be back later then.
Okay.
You better be here.
I'll be waiting here.
Yeah.
He was very complimentary toward her right away. He made her feel good, and when she felt good, then she just went with it.
Thanks for letting me drive.
Yeah, of course.
And for coming.
You look that beautiful, how could I say no?
She was head over heels pretty quickly. He was always spoiling her. He was taking her to the movies. He took her to local restaurants, and she was loving it.
So much that Elizabeth introduces him to her family right away.
Oh, is this? Are you or Dad already there? You ready?
Let's do it. Hi. Heard you're the man of the house. Also heard you're a force to be reckoned with. I can see that's true.
Well, Darren, that all depends on you.
He was extremely nice. He was very pleasant, polite. He was engaging with all of us.
Well, your lovely daughter here also told me that you drive trucks. Well, sir, I'm a damn good mechanic, so if you ever need a hand, you come to me.
He always would help somebody with their cars.
Darren makes a good impression on everybody.
He got along great with my dad. Dad really liked him. He had high hopes for him. Dad thought he was fantastic.
But some are concerned. This isn't Elizabeth's first rodeo.
She had got pregnant when she was 16. She wasn't ready, and that was pretty rough on her. She just was not ready to settle down, so to speak.
2 kids and a divorce later, Elizabeth's children are living with her ex.
You sure are cute.
But her new romance gives her hope.
She regretted not being with her children full time. She wanted to fix what she felt she had done wrong.
I can't wait for you to meet them.
Yeah, me too. And for you to meet mine, you know? Kind of like the Brady Bunch.
Soon enough, Darren and Elizabeth are spending as much time as they can together.
He hunted, he fished, he camped. Her favorite things to do. She loved being outdoors all the time. So it was easy for them to have something to talk about.
Wow. I mean, you like cars, you like hiking, you even like to camp. Probably make a good wife, too.
Is that a proposal?
I mean, it depends on what the answer is. Elizabeth Smith, would you do me the honor of becoming my wife when I get you a better ring, of course, which I promise I will?
Oh my God. Are you serious? Yes! Yes!
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell hope Elizabeth isn't moving too fast.
I get the sense that Elizabeth is impatient, that she doesn't want to wait any longer to get married, she doesn't want to wait any longer to settle down, and so she's decided that she's just going to do whatever it is that she wants to be doing.
What worries me is that sometimes when people have invested a lot of time the way Elizabeth did in the previous relationship, and it didn't go where they wanted it to go, they feel this sense of, I've wasted a bunch of time, I have to catch up now, I'm getting older. If I'm Darren in this case, I'm worried that Elizabeth's on the rebound and that I am sort of the shiny object that is providing for her the things that she felt were missing in the previous relationship.
And they're just so head over heels with each other. There's so much chemistry that they aren't thinking about the realities of a relationship.
Bye, sis. Thanks for coming. Wait, sis! We're getting hitched.
What are you talking about?
She's waited long enough, right?
And I stopped the car and said, "You're what?" Because that is not what I was expecting to hear at all. It was very shocking.
Don't you guys think that this is going a little bit too fast?
And I said, "You guys don't really know each other that well. Don't you think you want to wait a little bit?" He put his arm around her and he smiled and said,
I would bury her before I got another divorce.
while Elizabeth and Darren's marriage plans are sudden.
I thought, well, it's her life, and if she's found happiness, so be it.
Its breakneck pace is just the first of many shocks.
That woman is toxic.
She asked me if I would come to court and testify on her behalf.
Elizabeth Smith and Darren Spinks barely know each other, but already they're happily planning their wedding.
She was impulsive. If it felt good, it must be true love. So she kind of stopped thinking because she was in love, and that's all that mattered.
But their excitement isn't exactly contagious.
I didn't like to hear it because he had been married twice prior already, and he had also just got out of a long-term relationship, from what I understand. We weren't very supportive of them getting married within 8 weeks of knowing each other.
Elizabeth and Darren don't seem to care.
I don't know who was there because nobody in our family was there. We didn't know about it.
As the newlyweds settle into married life, they make Darren's place their home, and the new bride leaves her mark right away.
She was very OCD with cleanliness. She liked everything in its place. Elizabeth was a baker. She loved sweets. She always was making some kind of treat to leave out for whoever stopped by.
Want me to kiss it better?
I'll be all right. Might make it hard to work the cash.
So, don't go. You don't need that job anyway.
He encouraged her to quit her job so that she could focus on school and not anything else.
But nothing. Okay? You should be in school and not working at some stupid gas station. Okay? Besides, that way, no one will be checking out my lovely wife except me.
Oh, you're checking me out, are you?
Maybe.
He didn't want her to work, didn't want guys coming in and talking to her and this and that.
But Darren wants her to follow her dreams, so he makes one of them come true.
Babe, I'm gonna fall and break my neck. Oh my God. What?
It's all yours. Did all the paperwork.
Oh my God!
Elizabeth got her little red Mustang, and that's all she's wanted since she was a little girl.
Oh.
Gotta have a nice car to go to school in, right?
You know what? Maybe we should go surprise the kids.
Yeah.
After she moved in with him, his 2 children moved in, and she adored them.
You're a great mom, you know that?
Yeah, well, I haven't always had the chance.
She regretted not being with her children full time.
Well, then let's do something about it. You know, we got enough room for your kids here. I don't mean just on weekends. Maybe we should be together all the time. Brady Bunch, right?
He wanted us all to be a large, happy, blended family.
So they plan to make their Brady Bunch dream a reality.
They were thinking of taking her children's father to court because she decided that she wanted full custody of her children.
Look, I really want them with me, and Darren said that maybe we should try. Can you go?
She asked me if I would come to court and testify on her behalf, and I said no. I didn't think it was appropriate to move them at that point in their lives.
Yeah? Well, what do you know? We came to you for help. As family.
Look, Kat, I gotta go.
That woman is toxic.
Their frustration is palpable.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Elizabeth just basically said that her husband didn't want me around. He couldn't stand me. He couldn't stand my negativity, went through me like lightning. I was livid.
Over time, all of Elizabeth's relationships completely fade.
What's that? You better hope it's not Catherine.
It's Angie.
After she got married, we spoke frequently. I didn't visit a lot. And was on the phone with her one day, just talking.
Oh, your ex's sister. Hang up the phone.
Yeah, so like I was saying.
Hang up!
Never mind, I gotta go.
And then just in 2 seconds, she said, I've got to go. And that was it.
You happy?
And then after that day, I would call, no answer. Call, no answer. Call, no answer.
Darren's clearly becoming very controlling. He's now pushed away Elizabeth's sister and her best friend, Angie. What this says to me is that Elizabeth really is trying to make this relationship work to the point that she's pretty much willing to do whatever Darren wants.
I don't know if Elizabeth at that point would have said, oh my God, he's trying to control and isolate me from my friends and family. She might have thought, yeah, that's right. It is us against the world. We don't need anybody else. We've got everything we need right here.
As Elizabeth seems to take her husband's side against her friends.
Fine, I'll stay home tonight.
I was surprised that somebody was controlling her.
Tensions rise to a fevered pitch.
I said, not today, Dad. We're not gonna do this. He said, we're finishing this today.
After her sister refuses to help with her custody battle, Elizabeth and Darren Spinks start shutting her friends and family out of their lives.
Everybody was very concerned because Elizabeth was very social. She liked having friends over at her home on weekends, but not when she was with him. None of her friends have ever been there.
And when Elizabeth sneaks a call to Catherine, it only stokes her sister's growing concern.
No, I said no. I'm not gonna give up on him.
I knew something was going on down there, but I didn't know what.
No, I'm gonna go now.
Regardless, Elizabeth is in for the long haul.
She didn't want to mess up another one. She had made so many mistakes already, relationship-wise, and with her kids. She said, I have to try to make this work.
And Elizabeth's isolation only gets worse. When Darren leaves his job over a nagging back injury,
Elizabeth!
he makes her role very clear.
Elizabeth!
You okay, baby? Here, this'll help. Is it better?
It'd be better if you didn't leave me tonight. Go play cards with your gossipy little friends.
I thought we had an agreement.
You're staying home.
Fine, I'll stay home tonight.
But on Halloween 2007, their seclusion is forever shattered.
When we received dispatch from the 911 center, it was reported to us by a male caller that he had been shot by his wife.
Rumors about the incident travel fast.
My dad walked in the house, and he was very quiet.
Something's wrong.
I'm trying to calm him down. I said, nobody has called us, Dad. Nothing is going on, or somebody would have called us. I called the local sheriff's department.
West Virginia State Trooper, Somerville Detachment. How can I direct your call?
We pulled up not really knowing what we had, you know. We didn't know what we were getting into. He's told the 911 dispatcher that he has armed himself with a rifle, that he has barricaded himself.
I said, has there been a shooting? Ma'am, we can't discuss anything. I said, hold on a minute, something's wrong.
I immediately focused my attention to the house, and I could see a human body on the front porch. We didn't know the location of where a shooter was. The mail caller had told the 911 dispatcher that he had barricaded himself in the bathroom of their residence. I saw a male subject look out like the window of the door.
Get down!
I've been shot.
He was shot in his upper thigh.
He's clean.
He indicated that he had seen a white pickup truck in the parking lot of the elementary school at the time that he heard the first shot.
No! I started running. And a deputy caught me because I was just running full force to get to her, so I knew something was wrong. I said, where's my sister? Because I couldn't see anything. He just kept saying, you can't go, you can't go.
The 911 dispatch had it wrong. Darren wasn't shot by his wife. It's Elizabeth.
Initially looking at Elizabeth, you could see a single bullet hole in the upper part of her chest. It was very small, leading me to believe that it was a small caliber firearm.
As the crime scene team gathers evidence, officers interview Darren, who's now in the hospital.
She was on the porch. She was having a cigarette. She was sitting on the chair against the wall, you know? And I was sitting across from her like that.
He said they were talking about what they were going to make for dinner and that he happened to notice a white truck at the elementary school in front of their house slowing down.
I think I'm gonna go to my dad's tonight.
Okay.
Make him a nice dinner.
Okay. Yeah. Say hi for me.
I will.
And then I heard a pop like a firecracker.
Oh, God.
And then that's when I saw Elizabeth. Yeah, she'd been shot.
Oh.
And then she stood up and she grabbed her chest and she looked at me and she said, "Oh God, help me."
He ran in the house to get a cell phone to call 911. He came back out on the porch and was kneeled down beside her and was trying to check on her condition, and that's when he was shot.
I heard 2 shots from the schoolyard, and before I hit the ground, I saw a white truck hit the gas and tear off. And that's when I realized somebody's trying to kill me. And then I grabbed my rifle and I crawled into the bathroom and I called you guys. I think the shots came from the truck, man. Because it's the last thing I saw before I heard the pop.
He indicated to us that he had an ongoing feud with this guy named Henry, and that he had lived up the road, and that, you know, that he thought that he might have a white pickup truck. Henry was known to us.
What up, Big D?
Henry's a local drug dealer.
Gonna have fun tonight.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
This feud between Mr. Spinks and Henry was probably drug related.
Yeah, I know him. So what?
And as police investigate Henry as a possible suspect,
What, should I get a lawyer or something?
Elizabeth's family prepares for the funeral.
My dad had every intention of taking care of it that day. I knew that he would. So I had gone to my dad. I hugged him for a purpose because I know what side my dad packed on.
He shouldn't be walking around free. God, I have to do something.
But not like this. I said, not today, Dad. We're not gonna do this. He said, we're finishing this today. I said, let's get her buried and have peace, please, Dad. He apologized to me and said, I'm sorry, I love you. You understand, right? I said, I do. I really do understand. But I can't let you do it today.
Darren's explanation for the shooting almost sounds like some kind of a gangland kind of drive-by thing that you see in gang warfare and drug war kinds of cases, and not the kind of thing that you typically see in the part of the country in which Darren and Elizabeth lived. When I put myself in Elizabeth's father's shoes, I can imagine being absolutely enraged that someone killed my daughter.
There is no worse loss than the loss of a child. It's out of order. And as a parent, we expect that we're gonna go first. And so now here we have a situation where not only has Elizabeth died before her father, but she was killed. And people handle grief in different ways. And so I'm honestly not surprised that her father was enraged.
Elizabeth's funeral is held 10 days later.
Darren and his family arrived late. Everybody stayed on their sides, almost like a wedding. My heart's broke because Dad's heart broke. Dad went to her coffin to say goodbye by himself the final time. He looked down at her. This big, strong oak of a man just started to cry, and he said, "Sweetie, I'm so sorry I couldn't save you. Please forgive me." And he kissed her on the head.
Get away from me, you son of a bitch!
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! I didn't know what to do, so I ran to the front and just put my arms out between them and kept screaming, "Not today, please, not today."
But if Darren is the killer,
I knew it in my heart what happened. We all strongly believed that he did it.
then why was he shot?
We don't know how Mr. Spinks didn't bleed to death. There was that much blood.
In the days and weeks that follow the murder of Elizabeth Spinks, friends and family grow convinced her husband Darren is behind her death.
Everybody pretty much had the same conclusion of what happened. It just didn't make sense.
Darren's description of how this happened does not fit the evidence that we saw.
For investigators, the first red flag is Darren's injury.
We did not have a trail of blood leading from the positioning of Elizabeth back into the house, which tells me that he was not on the front porch when he was shot, which goes back to this bullet hole that we found in the bathroom,
where there is a huge amount of Darren's blood.
There was so much blood in the bathroom. We don't know how Mr. Spinks didn't bleed to death. There was that much blood.
But strangely, there's hardly any of Elizabeth's blood on the porch.
If she was sitting in that chair when she was shot, there would be blood spatter on the house, on the chair, somewhere behind her, because the bullet passed through and came out. However, there was no blood spatter, there was no flesh, there was no blood spray.
meaning Elizabeth was not shot from far away.
The bullet could not have come from anywhere except for on the porch.
And when the autopsy comes back, the trajectory of the bullet that killed Elizabeth only adds to police suspicions.
The angle of the bullet that went into the house and through a portion of the back of that plastic chair, the angle of that bullet, there would have had to have been a helicopter hovering over the front yard.
Not, as Darren claims, from a white pickup truck in the schoolyard. It seems the evidence is tearing Darren's story apart, so investigators dig even deeper.
We also delve into the possibility of domestic violence incidents.
Never mind, I gotta go. You happy?
Don't walk away from me.
What are you gonna do about it?
And sure enough, the record shows Elizabeth had called police on Darren several times, each time dropping the charges.
We, in law enforcement, see that many times. It's a cycle of violence, violence and then the honeymoon phase, and she continued to be victimized.
Sadly, domestic violence in the Spinks home was totally predictable when Darren started isolating Elizabeth early on in their marriage. That is classic abuser behavior in the beginning stages, to sort of cut the victim off from people in their support system who would see the signs of the abuse and be motivated to try to do something about it.
I'm not surprised to hear that there were reports of domestic violence between Darren and Elizabeth. And I'm also not surprised to hear that Elizabeth dropped the charges. Oftentimes, a victim of abuse is either so afraid that their life is in danger that they don't want to follow through with the report, or the person has turned themselves around miraculously, given them a bunch of gifts, and convinced them that they're going to change.
While police quietly build a case against Darren, the man himself is quick to move on.
I got a phone call from the police saying that her car had been sold within 2 weeks after her death. I am shocked because that was something she treasured. I went to the car lot because, I don't know, I just wanted to look at it. I felt like it was being with her.
What's left behind is far more than Darren intended. It's a DIY divorce application.
He had told us that, that they had the perfect marriage, that they never fought, and that they always got along, and, which we knew was a lie.
Armed with this new evidence, reports of domestic violence, and all the inconsistencies in Darren's story, troopers are ready to lay charges. But the prosecutor is not.
The prosecutor's argument is, in murder cases, you have from now until forever to charge the person. There is no statute of limitations in West Virginia on felony cases.
They wanted to make sure that they dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
For the prosecutor, the hole in the case is the murder weapon, or rather, the lack of one.
They wanted us to try to find this gun, and, at this point, that gun could be anywhere. It could be anywhere.
We just can't go on this guy till we have more evidence. You're just gonna have to give us more time, Major.
Wherever the gun is, its absence is a problem.
I'm so sorry.
They become frustrated. I would be frustrated as well. If it was my family.
The frustration takes his toll as first months, then years go by.
My dad was so broken. He tried to be okay. I begged him to just let it happen, let the police have this. He said, "It's been too long. I said, they'll get it. They're not giving up. They never gave up.
No, that doesn't answer my question at all.
Finally, 7 years later, the case cracks wide open.
He very readily says, absolutely, I'll talk to you. I believe, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, that she was trying to leave.
After the murder of Elizabeth Spinks, both her family and police believe her husband is the killer. But the prosecutors fear the evidence isn't enough to convict. And after 7 years of freedom, Darren has no reason to think he'll ever pay the price.
Darren had obtained a new girlfriend, obtained employment, and had kept it for a pretty significant amount of time for him. He also had begun actively going to a local church.
Off and on throughout the 7 years that he walked around as a free man, I thought, well, if he did it, he's gotten away with it.
But he hasn't. Not just yet.
The difference this time is that we have a new prosecutor, and I'm going to assign White to review the case full-time.
If you have unsolved death investigations, every year, as part of our policy procedure, we pull those out, we go over them. We directed Corporal White, okay, we got the manpower. We want you to concentrate on this case. We want to try to get closure for this family, and we want to try to convince the prosecutor's office to seek an indictment.
As White reviews the case, something stands out: the sound of the gunshots.
The original statements give there was a shot, it was very loud.
Oh, God.
Then a few minutes passes, anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. Then you hear a second shot, but what's very significant about that is not only is the time frame different on Darren's original statement, but the sounds are described different. The second shot is muffled.
The muffled shot, we believe, obviously was the one inside of the residence, inside of the bathroom, which created the bullet hole in the bathroom floor.
White's first step is to go back and re-interview the neighbors. But the song remains the same. One shot, loud. Minutes later, another, muffled. It's not just the sequence of the shots that gives White pause. It's the distance.
Nobody had actually obtained the distances involved in this. So what I did was I obtained a laser rangefinder.
White clocks the distance between the house and where Darren said the shots originated. It's 275 yards, or 825 feet. It's practically impossible to make that shot.
You would have to be highly trained for that significant distance. Furthermore, with that, if you take the time to stand in the parking lot of the school, the angles are completely impossible. There's no way the bullet came from that area.
White turns back to the reports of domestic abuse and learns Elizabeth had even spoken to a counselor about it, who tells them why Elizabeth stayed.
He had threatened Elizabeth's family.
And instead of putting them at danger, she just sacrificed herself.
But 7 years after her final sacrifice, police confront Darren.
Of course, we have no warrant, so we can't make this man talk to us. He has every right to tell me, no, I told you what happened in 07. You didn't do your job, I'm not speaking.
So I can help.
Well, just to make sure we got everything on tape, let's just go through a few warm-up questions.
However, he very readily says, absolutely, I'll talk to you.
I was curious, if you hit a deer and you don't kill it and it runs away, how do you find it?
Just follow the blood trail, man. You know, just common sense. You don't gotta be a hunter to know that.
So, this is the porch area here. So where is it? Show me your blood trail.
And then what he chose to do was change his story.
Well, wait, actually, so I did some research of my own, some like investigating, and the shots came from up the road, another guy that I had beef with. So the shots would have come from different angles.
He was trying in his head to get this angle to match. And at this point in the investigation, I tell him that it doesn't matter.
No, that doesn't answer my question at all.
He is not at all happy. He is confrontational. He is locking his arms. He's disputing. He's squirming in his seat.
Well, all right then. Sounds like I need a lawyer.
Feeling confident, state troopers take their case to a new prosecutor and lay out the evidence.
Even though we knew that we didn't have the murder weapon, we walked him through this whole case. He reviewed every bit of evidence we had. The prosecutor agreed with that. He impaneled the grand jury. I presented evidence, and we got our direct indictment.
Allowing police to finally make their move.
I made the announcement, we're here to serve a warrant for your arrest for first-degree murder for your wife, Elizabeth Ann Spinks.
Oddly, it's one of the best days of our lives that we had seen in a long time. I went over and told Dad it's official. He's cuffed and in the cruiser. He's indicted. It's happening. And Dad just broke down. He just slumped and he said, thank God, and he just kept crying.
As they prepare for trial, police and the prosecutor piece together what they think actually happened.
I think I'm gonna go to my dad's tonight. He's not feeling well. It's been a while.
Are you asking me or telling me?
I don't have to ask. I'm done asking.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know what? I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore.
Things had just finally come to a head for Elizabeth.
You sure about leaving?
Yeah, I am.
Mr. Spinks was standing over her, and I believe that's when he fired the fatal shot that killed her. And I believe then he panicked and tried to cover it up by shooting himself in the bathroom.
Help me, I'm shot. My wife's been shot too.
He made good on his threat about burying her before he'd divorce her.
Darren Spinks goes to trial in 2015.
He got convicted of first-degree murder, no mercy.
No mercy in the state of West Virginia means that that man will die in prison. He will never be able to get parole. He gets the same treatment he showed Elizabeth when he decided to kill her. No mercy.
It's a victory for police and for Elizabeth's loved ones. But there's one person who doesn't see Darren pay.
My biggest regret is when that jury came back with that guilty verdict, Mr. Smith had passed. He didn't hear it.
I guess once he knew that there was going to be a finality, he just was tired.
I made him a promise. I would do the absolute best I could to try to get his daughter justice.
There are many cases of abuse that don't end in death. What I think is particular to Darren in this situation is that he had enough sociopathy that not only was he abusive, but he viewed her as a possession. And if she was going to leave him, he was going to make her pay, and pay with her life.
Forget about trying to even imagine what somebody would have to do to you to put you in a state of mind in which you were willing to shoot yourself in order to be able to murder them and try to create plausible deniability about it. Most of us can't even imagine that circumstance. The difference in the case of a sociopath is that they feel entitled to do it because the person insulted them. They feel entitled to do it because the person didn't respect them to the level they feel they deserve. They feel entitled to do it because the person disobeyed them. And so, at the core of the sociopath is this narcissistic entitlement to have other people do their bidding, and that, I think, is a glimpse into the mentality of a guy like Darren.
Elizabeth's family believes her story isn't over.
I call her a hero a lot because I like to share her story with other people who are in similar situations. So I tell people how her story ended and how we will ache forever. It's not going to go away. If you can't leave for yourself, leave for the people who love you because you matter.